actually, it looks great, like on like.
Oh,
I see melanin popping. Oh.
My melanin's popping. My melanin.
I hear that so much in the day.
Hey, you know how Wayne be?
Yep.
Damn.
Are we good? Are we on?
Are we recording?
Are we? I don't know yet.
So, if we are, I have a question.
Let me get that candle.
Yeah, wait, his camera going, because I hate when
Is it going?
Chase's voice goes and you can't see his face when he talks on video.
Man, I am not needed for this podcast.
Dang.
No, people like seeing like your face with your commentary.
Okay, so I'm about to ask this question.
Excellent.
So, have you guys ever heard of pegging?
I can lay roses at your feet. So only morning just what is on.
I didn't know that was like an Urban Dictionary term.
Pegging?
No, yes.
No.
Have you heard of it?
No.
Okay, so pretty much it's when a woman puts on a strap on.
You see how this be going.
Listen. A woman puts on a strap on and pretty much like does her man from the back. But apparently there's like some sort of pleasure that men get out of like getting hit from the back.
In what world?
Yeah, there's like
So-
they
There is
have that
no
thing
world.
in there. They have that. There's like that. What is it called? The thing in there.
Like the prostate?
Yeah.
See, look, you looking at Facebook too much. That
They
G spot
didn't-
don't exist.
Listen,
If it does, I don't know.
So is it okay? But here's the thing: if you get pegged, is it by a woman? Is it considered gay?
Yes.
I would definitely
Yes.
assume so.
Why?
I'll put it like this. It's considered gay because I'm not that forward.
Exactly.
But how do you know that you don't like it if you haven't tried it?
I'm good.
I don't want to try it.
Because there are certain positions
Yes.
You
that
got to,
I experience.
You can't even get too close to my stuff.
Look,
Hey.
look.
But there's pleasure somewhere
I don't
in
need
there.
see,
Well, that is a pleasure
all
that I would never
pleasure-
encounter.
All pleasure
Tell
ain't
guys
pleasure
about pegging.
that you need.
You don't know. Well,
Shit,
what
I
about
don't
like
know.
a finger?
Man, look, don't even sniff by my
I
shit.
don't want to comment on this.
I do because, like, as a woman, right?
Oh my God.
I've
you
never
wanna,
pegged.
because you want to be
Hold on, wait a
dominant.
minute. Do you
She
want to
wanna be
open up that
dominant?
Pandora's box, Miss Lady?
Listen, I don't feel like I would. Okay, I wouldn't do it, right? But
So how you
a
gonna
part
tell
of
me to do it?
me,
Yeah.
a part of me is curious of like what my stroke game would be if I did.
Well,
Go straight to other shit.
well.
I'm curious. Like,
Wait, so
how would I be with a penis?
Is the question if
They said
we
no.
would do it with a strap on or if
So if your man asked you to peg him with a strap on, would you do it? Yes or no?
I don't think I would.
Why?
That's
I
what
don't
I'm talking
know.
about.
Why? But why?
That's real, right?
Why wouldn't you just put on a strap on and?
Because the strap on looks like a penis, right? I feel like. I mean, okay, wait. So I mean, the spot back there does exist.
It does.
I'm not saying I would
I
put
would
on
never
a
know.
strap on to
It
get
do
to it,
exist.
but it does exist. I'm just
So
saying.
you're saying you could probably get to it with your finger.
I'm
You
good.
I'm good on that.
So this is a solid no from you two.
Yeah, solid no.
Hold on, let's ask this question. Let's see
And
how-
you started it. You
Yeah.
started it.
Let's see how
started.
deep this shit gets. In the poll that was, done for this particular scenario, what were the ethnicities of people who enjoyed this? Now,
Yes.
I'm not saying that disclaimer. I'm not saying that they were no African American black people that were doing it. I'm just trying to get these numbers.
Okay, so there wasn't a poll.
Mm,
Okay,
well,
but the
you
first
probably-
time I actually I've never seen this, but the first time I've actually really heard about it was on this show called Broad City, and they had like this whole episode about it. Like her man wanted her to do it, and she did it. And
yeah. What ethnicity?
they might have been white.
It could have been.
Caucasian.
They might have been white.
It could have been. It could have been.
So it's a solid no for receiving the peg.
Solid
Indeed.
is
You
not.
say no for pegging.
Indeed.
I say no
It's-
for pegging, but I mean, I think the broader question is like, because they said that doesn't exist. I know what you're talking about. It does exist, but I'm just saying like I wouldn't.
I'm gonna decide.
I wouldn't put it. I don't know.
You see how Stacey had to
I'm gonna decide it.
Yeah,
I don't know.
She got about that.
I'm
Something
gonna
about putting like a penis on me and I don't have one. I feel like that's what I would have an issue
That's
with.
a whole nother level.
Yeah, that's a whole nother
I
level.
mean, maybe
That's a whole
I don't
nother level of
know.
love.
Maybe I could get to that level
let
at this
me-
current moment
Hold
in time.
on. I'm gonna give y'all one.
I'm not
How about let the man work on mastering your body first.
Thank you.
But what about his prostate?
I'm good. It's
Yeah,
hard enough.
But what about his prostate?
Real
I'm so
good.
concerned.
I'm good.
They got exams for that.
Men out there, Stacey cares about your prostate.
Hey, and if you out there,
Stop, Chase. Stop
and you
it.
think that
Stop.
Stacey is an attractive,
Oh my gosh.
young, mixed, slick hat back, tight.
I'm gonna let you finish.
jeans
How many
with
compliments
holes in
Stacey
them.
Hold on. Tight jeans with no holes in
With,
them.
with holes.
With
I have a lot of hoes.
With no belt on.
I don't have on a belt.
She don't have a no
No,
belt.
she don't need a belt.
She don't need a
Yeah,
belt.
need a belt.
I fucking hate you.
No belt.
Hey, I am Stay Sorry.
Jessica Lola.
Keep coming to you.
And we are Houston. I'm just saying.
Basically, we just saying things in Houston.
Who's
Because we're located in Houston. I feel like you should introduce this
Yeah,
man
who's sitting here?
I'm dead. Like, let me just calm this down. This is my boy. This is my brother, man. This is my boy Dez. I've been knowing this gentleman for about 16 years.
Striking young lad.
16, striking young man.
Strapping gentleman.
Dez, would you like to introduce yourself?
What's going on, peeps? My name is Dez. Real cool, calm, collected dude. Always minding my business. You know.
Except for right now.
Real father. Real man. I'm just be out the way. But I'm as real as they come. I'm gonna tell you what you need to, not what you want to hear.
Right.
So that's why I'm here.
Thanks, Des.
Yes.
I think with that, I will say, why we don't have enough people that just stay out the way?
Just stay out the way.
I didn't even mean to rhyme right there.
Just stay out the way.
It's the candle.
Skills to pay the bills.
Right.
Apparently, we're gonna light this candle every
It's
time we do
lit.
an episode now.
It's gonna be
but is the scent gonna change, or is this just gonna be the eucalyptus and mint leaf?
Because you know what? So eucalyptus is really good for you.
Hey, go and give him the game,
You
bro.
know what I'm saying? So I'm all about holistic.
Can I see the numbers behind that? Who verifies that it's actually
The
good for
poll.
you?
I need to see the poll.
And what ethnicity feels this way?
Well, go ahead and put it up there then.
I put it to you like this. You know how I feel? I'd rather be more into this. Something that came from the earth.
Hello.
Not the earth. Earth.
Those are actually great candles. I buy those from HEB too.
And now she want to switch up.
I'm just saying, I
You see how
agree.
If you were referring to pain, you can
Backpedal.
use your fingers too.
Back to that.
Those come from the
And the
earth.
prostate is real.
Right.
And
Alright, so we're gonna go over a few first times today. So, does anyone remember the first time they got blackout drunk?
Indeed.
It has to be a good one, guys.
Indeed. I do.
Go.
It was my 23rd birthday. I was at Club Roxy here in Houston. And when I got to the club, my family made me take 23 double shots of Patron.
They tried to murder you on your 23rd
Yes, they tried to
birthday.
murder me on my 23rd birthday. I finished all 23. And have you ever experienced the experience of knowing you were drunk exactly when the liquor hit you? Like when I got to the 20, I literally turned to my brother and was like,
Ain't no coming down for
I
you.
messed up. I messed up, bro.
Help me
And,
before it takes
like,
Help
over.
me, nigga.
Yeah, like, help me. Help me.
It's
Wait.
that water.
It was like after I took that shot, I literally took 2 steps. I passed out on the stage. I woke up the next day in my bed with a trash can on the side of the bed,
Oh.
and everybody from the party in my apartment.
Oh, you know,
And I didn't know what was going on. I had to look at social cam. Yeah, that's how long ago ago.
See, you know when you got that
Social
trash
cam.
can on the side of the bed, but
Yeah.
you didn't put it there?
Exactly. I
Those
woke
are
up
some
like,
friends.
That's a sign.
what's going on here?
That's a
But
sign.
I was so drunk. I had to look at social cam footage of, me being drunk and being packed out of the club in the fetal position.
Peg, he said. Not
And-
Peg. Not Peg got the
Yeah.
Oh, they took you out of the club.
They
and
took me out of the
did you?
club. They took off all my clothes except my boxers, and they took me home. Put
So
me in
you're
bed.
not sure if you were molested that night?
Damn.
I mean, from the video footage,
It could
I
have
was alright.
It could have happened to you.
But,
no.
not
But see, they could be
But no,
lost
I was
footage.
taking care of it. I was with fam or whatever.
Yeah,
But,
yeah.
they went to my party and had a whole turn up without me for my birthday because I
Hey, that's
was
some
blacked
That
out drunk.
sucks.
So, yeah, that's how my 23rd birthday went.
Nice. Just last time you. Well, no, first time. We don't need
Hold
to.
on. Hold on.
Not the
Hold on.
last
You
time.
said she just hit
I
you?
have like 3 different times.
She just hit you with.
Stacey knows about 2 of them.
Just last time.
Well, what was the
I meant
best time?
first time.
I don't know the first. one of the most memorable ones that was like happened a while ago was probably, let's see, it was in Austin. I was in 6th Street, and you're right, I do have that moment where like you had 10 shots of something, and then, but it's more like when you walk outside, or right when the air hits you, it's like you know it's about to go down, and I went down. Like, I think my ex-husband had to carry me up a hill, like slung me over his shoulder, had to like hold my dress, and a cop actually stopped us, or stopped him, and I was blacked out, like I could hear everything going on, but like
you couldn't move.
Your body was just like, nope.
No. And and the cop was like, "Sir, what's her name?" And he was like, "Jessica Schooley." And she's like, "Ma'am, what's your name? Or who's holding you?" "David Schooley." And he's like, "Okay, bye." And she's like, "All right." And then the cop was talking to my ex-husband. She's like, "You would not believe how many women are being carried down 6th Street and don't know who's carrying them."
Now let that have been me.
Yeah. No, and then I think that I threw up in my car that night.
Sir, hey! Yeah. Do you know that woman you're carrying? Get on the ground.
Exactly.
Yeah, and I don't know if you guys have ever tried to clean throw up out of your car, but it's like
sucks.
the worst. Your car will never be the same. It will never smell the same.
It sucks.
Yeah, so I threw up in my car that night.
That's crazy.
Yeah, the first time I got blackout drunk, I was 16, and
damn.
Yeah, I was 16, and I was with my friend Sierra.
Yeah, we trying to say this.
Oh, interesting.
I was with Sierra, and we.
Stacey ain't innocent.
She's
so
sweet.
She grew up in Galveston, okay?
I've never been to Galveston in my life.
Yeah, she's doing good.
Let me tell my story. So, we went to this party, and we went to this after party, hanging out with these guys, and I don't remember much, but I remember I had like those like big Kool-Aid cups. Shut up. I had like one full of vodka, and she drove us home, but she had to pull over because I had to throw up. And I literally I had on this.
Complaining about the Jameson in the goddamn
complaining about.
Well, I had a whole cup of vodka.
I didn't know that it was Jameson. No one disclosed that to me. I just took a drink and just started drinking.
This is really strong Cabernet.
Real strong Chardonnay.
As a 30-year-old woman, I just took a drink and started.
And so,
still drinking Jameson?
No, I had a whole like white outfit on, and I like rolled into this ditch on 45. She had to like carry me and pull me out of this ditch.
I can just see you
rolling. So for some strange reason, she went to McDonald's, got some McGriddles, went back. I had alcohol poisoning. I can't eat McGriddles to this day.
Hold on. We gotta slow down.
McGriddles though.
We gotta slow down for the McGriddles.
They're disgusting.
Well, to you now.
Disgusting.
But see, before people understood how bad McDonald's was, McGriddles was the lick. And a 20-piece nugget?
And
McGriddles
is like the expensive breakfast, because that was like
right. You don't get that.
You got an extra $1 to spend on that McGriddle instead of getting like $1 sausage.
Indeed.
Or you get the, you know what I'm saying? See, my pop still go get the 2 pancakes, a sausage, and a hamburger, and that little motherfucking egg. What the fuck? The egg is square.
And you gotta know you have money when you add cheese to that McGriddle.
Got too much money.
So that means my friend loved me. Thanks, friend.
Yeah,
She brought me McGriddles.
You had cheese on yours?
I don't know.
That's a real friend when they get you the McGriddles.
Wait, so how did she get?
That's a real friend.
How did she get you back in the car?
I don't know.
She didn't even know she had cheese.
Probably ask her.
I'm glad. You know what? I'm just glad that the Lord allowed you to get home.
Amen.
Yeah. Well, my friend wasn't drunk. It was just me.
Are you friends with Jeremy on Instagram?
Yes.
He just posted the videos of me last year. Yeah.
So you really blessed because you had a responsible friend.
Yes.
Hey,
Yes.
Go ahead.
Still my friend.
Friend, if you watching this, go ahead,
She
friend.
was watching.
Hello,
Hey, girl,
friend.
hey.
Hello, friend.
I just wanted to tell you thank you.
Yes, because if it had not been,
for you,
glory.
She was
Stay sorry.
She's on 45 right now.
Stay sorry who is single and looking for a good man.
Hello.
I'm
Would not be
I'm
here.
not
And
looking.
cares about your prostate.
And
She
hey,
really legitimately
Swear to
cares.
God,
Can that be the
Right.
episode
she
title,
would
please?
do something for you.
Just once.
Hello.
I want to see what my stroke game's like. Just once. I would love to see.
So she just confirmed
Ain't no
you with you.
motherfucking way.
No, I'm undecided.
Lord Jesus.
Bro, y'all.
Colin, first time, blackout drunk.
Oh, that's me? Oh, yeah. Blackout. I can't really remember the first time. I
damn,
so
that fucked up that.
I mean, that would make sense.
So I'm different
Blackout,
though. I'm real different. I'm a person where it's really hard for me to like get to a point where I'm overly intoxicated.
I know.
I can process a lot of liquor, or even if I'm drinking.
I can process a lot of liquor.
See,
Tell us your first time.
See what
Why y'all on my
know
bro
it.
though like that though?
Yes,
Why y'all on my bro like that?
small people who can't drink always want to talk shit. With no belt.
With no belt.
Leave me alone.
Belt gone. Belt like fine meat.
I'm talking about fine. Where's Waldo?
Yeah, like
Where's Waldo?
strap
It's
meat.
fine earlier,
We're gonna
sir.
go
I
Ross.
thought you
We're
strapped
gonna
the
go
belt
Ross
on.
in a
Hello.
little bit to
You could
find
strap
her
the belt
belt.
on.
I need a
When
belt.
you strap the belt on and Chase answered those
Well, just
questions,
strap the belt. Anyway, so no, I give you this. The worst time that it ever happened to me. I can't believe the first one. I was in Chicago. I was
Illinois.
I was in the Illinois, and no, what ended up happening, we went to Lincoln Park area. If anybody's ever been there, and it was like for a Michigan game. They have like Michigan bars, right? So they had a happy hour between the hours, between 7 and 10, which is a really good time. So it was during the Michigan game, and you pay $20 to get in, and you can drink whatever you want. Like in other words, you have a vodka choice.
Unlimited drinks.
Yeah, you get a wristband.
That sounds terrible.
This is like a great
It
idea.
That sounds so awesome.
It sounds like y'all about to make some money. But yeah, so you can drink. You get a vodka choice. You know, it's like well liquor, but you get a vodka choice. You get a whiskey choice. You get a tequila choice.
They're trying to give you food poisoning.
And
That
then
is exactly
hold on.
I have food poisoning. Oh,
And then you get a Hawaiian choice. So my problem was I started out,
Really.
I started out with whiskey. You know what I'm talking about. You're gonna get that whiskey and Coke, 2 of them. You know what I'm saying? Dos. And then we sit down, we start getting appetizers or whatever. And I said, let me switch it up. Tequila, 2 of them.
Oh, see, that's when you messed up.
That's
Yeah.
what. Hold on, we're not
You
done.
gotta do kilo
Then
lots.
I go. Let me be not classy. Let me be like, I'm going out tonight. Let me get like what's the cranberry vodka, 2 of them. 2 of them. And then I started talking to a friend of mine, and we were sitting there because they had a concert the next day. It's called Oddfest in Chicago. They have like Common there, all the Chicago artists out there. So we started talking. I said, let me be classy. I'm talking to a young lady right now. Red wine.
Pinky up, red wine.
Red wine.
Pinky up.
Bruh, when I tell you, I lost 2 hours of my life. I lost 2 of them, bruh. The shit over at 10. I'm like, bruh, I'm going home. I'm out of there. So I get to the Jeep. It's snowing. I get to the Jeep, and I like this. How I threw up. It was so clean. Like I sit in the Jeep. I said, oh shit, I gotta throw up. I open the door, run, close the door, turn the Jeep on. It took me 2 hours to get home. I only lived 30 minutes away from the bar. And I don't even remember, my nigga. I don't remember none of that. I just remember getting home and like, you had them nights when you get home and you kind of like lean on the steering wheel a little bit before you go in the house. Like, let me gather me. Like, let me get my stuff together.
My home doesn't deserve the
Yeah. Nobody in there needs to see me like this, and nobody else live there but you.
That's like me, except when I do that, I take a shower and I'll wake up in the shower 4 hours
Hey,
later.
that's shower. Hey, that's a revitalization.
Man, what?
So,
Amazing.
when was your first fist fight or first fight?
First fist fight was probably first grade because somebody took my seat on the bus.
That's it. That's it, bro.
Hey, no,
That's what it was.
the first one be like that. My first fight was Wendell Kirkman.
How old were you?
Man, we was like in.
What the hell you fight Wendell for?
Bro, that's probably the only person I ever fought, and I don't even know how it got broken up. Cause he kept on like hitting me in the side, like he kept on like jabbing me in the side. We were like in middle school.
What was the reason for the fight?
He kept on jabbing me in the side. I said, bro, stop.
Oh, so he was just hitting you and.
Yeah, and I was like,
Man.
boom, and then all of a sudden we both get in trouble. We had a teacher that would like, I didn't know that until like a few years ago. She was an alcoholic. She would drink mouthwash in class. So he was like, oh, her breath either must be really bad or really good. But she would drink mouthwash because, mouthwash got a higher alcohol content than alcohol. And then one night I was at the Handlebar as a kid with my mom because we was broke. So we would
I don't know what that is.
The Handlebar is a bar.
It's a bar.
And the Handlebar they have like a happy hour. And the happy hour may have hot dogs and nachos. So my mom would go there like she with her friends, but it's really so we could get something to eat for the low. You see what I'm saying? And all of a sudden, here come Miss, whatever her name was, called him. But yeah, alcoholic
Drinking
teacher.
her mouthwash?
Yeah, then we had to get paddled because we was fighting.
You got paddled?
Yes, I got
They
paddled from
use
my
that
fight
in
too.
your school
We
district?
from
Yes.
Beaumont,
From
baby.
Beaumont, baby.
Touchdown.
BISD.
You didn't know motherfucking
I'm
games
pretty sure
out here?
Beaumont still paddles children.
I mean, yeah, and I think they still got that pumping out there.
Yeah, they still ain't.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, my first fight was over a window seat on the school bus.
I would fight over a window seat.
Cause I sit there every day, bro, and then he just want to come.
You're
and
that
just,
person on the airplane that like totally takes somebody out for not wanting to move from their seat.
I mean, thank God for growth. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
I hope.
You know,
Right up.
I
You know what I
tripping,
hate?
you know.
Hey, hold on. Why the fat nigga
Wow.
always get the middle seat?
And then we want to pay for 2 seats.
Bruh, get you two. You don't want to eat healthy?
It is not my fault
But like this,
that you are 2
Yeah.
people.
I'm not commenting.
If you gonna eat for the cheap, goddamn it, you should at least be able to afford 2 seats.
Hello.
I didn't mean to rhyme
Jess,
again,
first
but
fight.
these skills.
My first fight was in high school, and
Oh my
I dated this guy since middle school. We dated for 3 years. We broke up. Like a week later, we both got new like boyfriends. He got a girlfriend, I got a boyfriend.
Hold on, I'm about to say, hold on, y'all both got new boyfriend.
Yes,
I see
and
what the problem there
I
is.
broke up with mine, but he didn't break his. He kept his for 3 whole more years. So,
Well.
yes, but she was in high school and she talked a lot of crap. And one day after chemistry, I was like, nah, I ain't doing this no more. And I walked up to her, took off my backpack, and threw her head into a brick wall, and she had to go to the hospital.
See, that's yeah,
Now I
non-violent.
would like to have.
I'm on my MLK stuff right now. Non-violent.
No, I tried to tell her, it's like, stop. And she kept trying to, like, talk crap to me, like, while I was telling her to stop talk crap to me. And it
So
turned
everybody
into a
got a
fight.
breaking point.
It was a high school thing. I don't know. Got really upset. You stole my boyfriend. And then I threw your face into a wall. That's about it.
It seems
I
like we
feel
have-
you.
I feel like we have a few deeper issues
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
that Jessica needs to work out with.
But me and him are like, it's my friend's brother. We're actually we're like best friends. Like,
What now? Yeah.
well, yeah, and like now we laugh about it. Hey, remember when I beat up your girlfriend in high school? Wasn't that funny?
You remember that bitch?
So I don't know if this would. When was the first time?
Where's she at now? I see we friends.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think we were even friends on Facebook for like 2 seconds. I think like way later.
Oh, you and the girl?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
See, I hate that. Don't, hey, bro.
So she added you to peep you out, and then she deleted
Yeah,
you.
let me go look at her photos.
I don't know.
Yeah, you know she did
I
it.
don't look at people.
You know she did
She
it.
wanted to see what it was. That's
Why
all.
you acting like you didn't know she did it?
You know she did.
She trying to be the bigger person than she.
Nah, you know.
Don't be big. Don't be big
No.
now. You threw in a brick wall before.
Yeah, I'm not friends with
She
you
probably
either.
still got the mark in her head.
I hate people I know don't like me, like add me on shit, bro. We good.
Yeah,
We ain't
I
gotta
love
know
it.
each other.
Why not?
We ain't got no.
Hey.
No, but
Go ahead and witness this come up. out
witness the growth, but still. But see, the reason why I say that is, you know, here I go. The whole point is, you know, for you as a person, there's so much negativity in the world, right?
Exactly.
The fact that good things happen to you is already a blessing. So when you let bullshit ass people in, cause you know what I'm saying, either you let them in or you don't block them, whatever, right? Most of them you're not paying attention to, so you shield it. But it's like you got somebody that's preying on your downfall, and you got enough negative that you deal with, so that you have a positive is already one thing, right? So that one negative vote, like I don't even need it.
Exactly.
But how do you know they're being negative? Like, how do you know they just haven't grown and decided, hey,
You
I'm
don't
not saying
know.
that.
You
I'm
don't
not
know.
saying that.
You
I'm
don't
not
know.
saying that. I'm not
Yeah,
saying that.
you don't know. I mean, there's yet to be determined. You know, but at the end of the day, you have to protect your own.
You gotta protect yourself, cause you with you all the time.
Exactly.
Them motherfuckers ain't with you. They with you when they see your ass on that page and they make a goddamn comment or
My
just,
favorite is when you don't follow each other at all, but then you randomly see them peep up on your like Instagram stories, stuff like that.
Hello.
Because that means they had to like search you. They had to like go look at your stuff.
Witness
That's
this
my
win
favorite.
out here. Witness this win out here.
Like, oh, I'm sorry. You're gonna watch.
Miss Ladies, hold on. When was
Can
your
you from,
first fight?
Outside Club Canyon.
Hold on, we ain't get to stage.
We ain't get to we ain't going to speed by that. You
Yeah,
know what I'm saying?
hold
I
on.
really try
We're
to
not
move
gonna
on.
Yeah, we ain't going to speed by that.
Yeah. Let's just slow down.
My first fight,
Indeed.
I was like 9, and
Did you have crochet
Money
braids?
long.
I did not have. I didn't need crochet.
Or barrettes.
I didn't have them. I didn't need it.
You heard the stunt?
No. So shut up. So it was a guy, and he was like 14.
That's about right.
And I was 9, and he was picking on my sister, who at the time was like 4 or 5.
See, that's real, right?
Really weird.
That's real, right?
And yeah, so I was like, talking shit. Don't talk to my sister like this, You know what we do, the older sisters, and
Was you rolling your neck?
and then this
You
guy,
got my sister.
he had on this Dallas Cowboy ring and punched me in my eye.
I remember this
Like,
story.
and I
Ain't
had,
got time for this.
Did you swell up?
and so I was like, oh my God, he hit me. So I went home, I went to the restroom, my eyes like started swelling, and I was like, and then that's when I started crying, and I, told my mom I had a Dallas Cowboy star, like,
Wow.
yeah. He's in
hit you
prison
with the
now.
Charlie Murphy Unity.
He's in prison now, so I survived the murder. I survived the murder.
So I got even deeper. So are you a Cowboys fan?
How
No.
old was he and you when this happened?
He was like 14 and I was 9.
And you was 9?
If you
Yeah.
were 14,
Yeah, shit.
punching a 9-year-old
Yeah,
girl,
shit.
He punched the shit out of me.
We was just
your
talking
parents,
about this
their
stuff.
parents did something wrong.
Before the podcast, Des and I were having a really involved conversation about it. What is the issue with men that are insecure? What's going on with that? Is it an epidemic? Is it a pandemic? Let me know.
Nah, bro. I'm like
It's just it's a thing of. Sorry.
Now go ahead, Miss Jen. Ladies first, baby.
No.
You see? Hold on. You see how my nigga gave you the flow?
I know that was so sweet of you.
It's that simple.
I want to hear what Des has to say.
I want to hear what Miss Jen got to say.
Somebody gotta go. Come on.
Hey, we'll rock, paper, scissors for this month.
Come on, Jess, go ahead.
No, I was just say I think it's just an epidemic of men not knowing how to better themselves, so they just get insecure because they're not able to better themselves or make their lives better.
I don't think it's more or less that. I think it's more or less the fact that we're in a modernized society right now where you got, so much influence that's influencing you in the wrong direction to where, men don't really know or don't really think it's okay to express themselves in an emotional state to where they don't feel like they have a voice when it comes to an emotional state. So, guys are rather, put up a brick wall
Right.
than to just say, well, hey, this is how I feel. Let's work through this wall. So I think it's more or less that masculinity has taken such a prominent, stance within, men in respect and honor and, chivalry and everything to the point to where, it's almost looked down upon as in to say, well, I feel emotions too. I'm going to explain to you what my emotions are and let's go and come up with a joint plan to work through all those emotions. Like,
So
you can't do that.
So what I'm hearing from that, I'm sorry, Stacey, would you like to speak?
Sure. But I feel like that's also always kind of been the case. So that hasn't changed, right? That's always been the case. So his question was, why are men so insecure?
Right.
Like, when did that transition happen to where it's like those expectations, that whole like not being able to express your feelings and things like that, that's kind of always been the case, but what's changed in the men at this point?
Well, it changed when it became so easily to access women. That's when it changed.
I don't disagree. Being that we just had Women's Day,
Exactly.
I think we're moving towards that right now. What I think the problem is, and there has to be a balance. So, positive versus negative, right? So there's the male energy and the female energy. The problem is people seem to feel that as women become stronger, men are losing the power. And I think what really needs to happen is, I'm going to stay where I'm at. Get as far as you want to get, woman. When I say woman, I mean like women as a whole. What I don't mean like malice. What I'm saying is, but the problem is, how does it mesh? In other words, a man can be as strong as he is, a woman can be as strong as she is, but you have to mesh. What is the mesh? Communication.
Exactly.
So if you're having communication barriers, you're gonna have a power struggle because there's nothing to bridge the gap. You see what I'm saying?
It's always gonna be a level of an unknown.
Right. So you're saying that insecurity is really coming from
Lack
But no, essentially it's how women have
progressed.
Yeah,
because you have way more alpha males now than you ever had in the nation and in the world. Period.
Now.
Well, explain it.
What I mean by that is you have so many women that have understood and come to the realization that they too possess a power that they can move them out. When we were coming up, it was always, hey, the man, we gonna go and we gonna grind it out. We gonna provide. Woman, you gonna take care of the kids. You gonna do A, B, C, D, E, F, G.
Right.
But now when you got a woman who's tapped into her her inner power and understands what her ability is to become an equal with a man and actually even in some cases surpass a man, now is I don't need you to go and provide for me because I'm gonna go provide for myself. And that's more now rampant and it's running rampant in the nation more now than ever. And I love it, because of the simple fact that I've always been raised, and I give so much credit to my parents to understand that you have to work together to be able to accomplish a lot of things that you never could accomplish on your own. But I think as women continue to evolve and understand that they're not less than a man, they can be as equal as more of a man, it also puts a man in a perspective and a mind frame to say, well, hey, wait a minute. I might not have all the answers. Oh, let me see. Oh, she don't need me. You know what I'm saying? Because she can go do A, B, C, D, E, F, G just like I can.
Right.
And she has the confidence and the power to go and strive for that and achieve that and go above and beyond, the expectations of what the woman used to be. Because the expectation of a woman now is light years ahead of what it was in 1990 or in 2000.
Quickly.
Yeah. And they can escalate and elevate way quicker than a man. Because of the simple fact that they have the tools and they have the attitude to be able to do this.
Because they have a passion for it.
They have a passion for it.
Yeah.
And when it's born and bred in a man to say, oh, well, I'm going to go and provide, I'm going to go and grind.
And the structure has been set forth, though, so that the man, be that white or whatever,
right,
is a structure as far as who gets it first, who gets it second, who gets it third, whatever, right? So I think the male role is to, look, bruh, you already out here, you're going to be able to get it, right, to a certain extent. You're going to be able to get it to a certain extent, and what you need to do is allow for the woman to get it too. Exactly. Because, bruh, it's all about the collective.
Because when you come together, it's about we and not me anyway.
Right.
What do you think is the issue, though, when the man doesn't allow the woman to get it? Like,
ego.
Ego, because he's not really doing his homework.
First of all, if you are confident and you are well within the bounds of the man that you present yourself to be and the man that you were groomed to be and the man that you were meant to be through God and through, prayer and through, evolution of yourself.
Come on.
You should already know what to expect and what you're going to be able to bring to the table.
And we're just talking about relationships, right? Like, or we just, because we're not talking about coworkers.
It's both. No, we're not talking about
but that goes.
But the question was insecurities in men, so that could be in any.
Yeah, it could be in any form. You know what I'm saying? If you are confident within the man that you are,
if you're in a relationship, you can have these open and honest conversations with insecurities.
I mean, you can do it when you're single, but
it
all comes.
But let's say it's at work and you have a coworker who's a male who has these insecurities, but you're not able to have these open and honest conversations with them.
But it all goes into the same thing.
See, it's different at work.
Yeah, at work because you also got to understand that
at work that's a fault.
Exactly.
At work is I don't give.
But it shouldn't be though. But that's what you were actually programmed for it to be.
Yeah, you know it's not about programming. There's I have very cool coworkers. We good, but you know what I'm saying. You went on that interview by yourself.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? When you turn in your progress report, you talking about the work that you completed, right? So, I mean, we good at lunch. We're good all the time, right? But and really how I think it should be, nobody hate on nobody, man. You just give the facts. But see, that it's hard for people to be that transparent. Then that's the biggest issue. It's hard for you to be that transparent. But what people don't understand is you get so many points morally from being just. If you're just morally and you made a mistake, you get points for that. You get points for that. And what's crazy, You probably shouldn't get points for that. It ain't written in the book that the company provides. But what's happening is when you being right, and then somebody, let's say your supervisor, like, okay, yeah, he was being right. It is ethics. You know what I'm saying? And like, okay, you got the other man that'll fuck some shit completely up. He'll fuck a whole batch of some shit up, and say that he didn't do it, and now you done fucked up like, you know what I'm saying, a batch of something that can hurt some people. So the whole point is you have to be able to accept your flaws because everybody's human, and that's the problem. The problem is men being the hardest nigga ain't really that cool.
It's not.
It's really not that cool.
And I think and that's what I was saying earlier, like the whole insecurities thing. Like, so there are some men that are like so insecure, but yet they want to be like, you know, the man, the provider, but yet they don't know how to, like I said, take their lives to that next step to where, you know, like it is better. And then you have the woman who is able to do that and does that, and then it just, yeah.
But that goes back
you gotta pay. If you ain't doing your shit, bro, you gotta be able to, all right, she got that.
But you know, it goes back to, you know, when our mothers were raised in the, you know, late 70s or 60s or 50s or, you know, whatever it was, they were groomed in a completely different way than what a parent grooms their child to be in, let's say, the 90s and the 2000s. You know what I'm saying? Back then, hey, you gonna get married, you gonna take care of your man.
Where you were raised to.
It's
Texas
definitely,
or California.
it definitely, but the majority of that, it goes back to, you know, hey, in the 50s and 60s, hey, you gonna take care of this man because he gonna provide the bread, he gonna provide, you know what I'm saying, the well living. So you take care of this man. But now when you get in the 90s and the 2000s, you know, you get these parents that say, hey, you can, you know, when they grooming a daughter, you know, even my daughter now. You know what I'm saying? I grew my daughter to understand that, hey, you can go and accomplish anything that you want to do if you put the work in. Yeah. That wasn't the narrative in the 50s and 60s.
Yeah, and if you talk to, like, my ex-husband's mom, and then, like, if you were to talk to my mom, two different perspectives. You have my ex-husband's mom who's, you know, oh, the man's going to go out and do what he wants to do after work, and he's going to come home, and there should be dinner, and you raise the kids.
And you don't say anything.
You don't go to, and you know, and they make
women have a voice. They have a voice.
But then, you know, you talk to somebody like my mom in the same era, different place. It's like, you know, single mom, raise kids, go to school, you need to do all these things. And so I think it just really depends on who raised you.
Yeah, it depends on your upbringing.
That's a factor, too, because, like, your mom was a single parent of many children. And then, like, was your ex-husband's mom, like, did all of them have the same father, and she was married to their husband?
They had a stepdad immediately after. So there was always, like, a male figure.
Right.
Within the prison.
So that could be a factor as well. Because, like, you know, of course, my mom, you know, she was a single parent of 2 children at some point.
Stacey's mom was fine. She was fine.
Stop it.
Bad, boy.
So,
Miss Parker.
See, y'all getting off track. Y'all getting off track. But what I'm saying is, you know, with me being raised by my mother and, you know, my father leaving and, you know, leaving her to have to do
how
things
you raised, you know,
by herself, she has to raise me differently.
You have to raise her in a
there was
different
also a transition of like, okay, yes, we want women that are going to take care of their husbands and things like that, but there's also a transition to where at some point men were leaving families. So it was like almost like it all kind of simultaneously happened. And now we have this generation we have now, which we have women that are working and, you know, can do things on their own, and men that are insecure about those women that are doing those things.
Because we touched on some shit right now. I don't know if y'all feel it.
I feel it.
I think. So
and now if you do something, it gets spread across the multitudes and like really quickly, as opposed to, you know, just hearing about it.
I think a big problem. So for what I'm hearing, I think the biggest problem of what I'm hearing, in earlier generations, we didn't plan for the future.
We didn't.
We didn't plan for what could possibly happen in the household. We go off of, which people still do it now. You go off of what the relationship is. You go off of, let's say you with your chick right now, and she doesn't work. I've always been an advocate of, man, you need to have your own career. And I say it because you don't know what I'm through with you.
Exactly.
And I don't mean that.
But that's a transition, right?
I'm not saying.
But that's life.
But that's the transition that I'm talking about. It's like, so she doesn't have the option of not working because it's like, hey, I might leave your ass. You need to make sure that that's not how it was.
But that also can be vice versa though, because hey, she can leave your ass too.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
But I'm not saying I'm gonna do that. But I'm saying, hey, from a collective standpoint, we're better.
We need to be working towards a common goal together anyway.
Math. It's simple math. Like, bro, hey, two doing the same thing. Look, man, if I'm tired, you need to be tired.
Exactly.
It just sounds better.
But that's the transition.
That's the transition. So. But
that's the shift. That's the cultural shift.
Yeah.
In which why you have so many men that were insecure now than then because of the simple fact that it was a transition period that happened when the light bulb came on and say, hey, I don't need you.
Right.
Well, you want us both to be tired, but yet you're telling us both have to get jobs. One can't do better than the other.
Well, nah, because I'm a firm believer in.
I can't be more tired than you because I'm doing better.
I'm a firm believer in knowing that, and understanding that a partnership. It should be a partnership in all aspects of a relationship.
Right.
So, regardless if I'm doing better or you doing better, at the end of the day, when we lay down and tell each other we love us and we say good night, it's still a partnership. So, regardless of whatever go wrong, you make the most money, I make the most money. Hey, the money's still going to the same common goal.
Right.
But you get so many men that have, like I said at the beginning, it's ego. Well, my chick make more money than me.
It's not about the amount.
It's not about the amount. It's the principle.
It's about the drive.
Yeah, it's the drive.
It's about the drive. It's about we on this team, right? We together. They got another team out there. I don't know what the fuck they do. I don't even know what they play. We might even play the same game. But the points on the board is what matters. Right? For us. It don't even matter about them. And if we not putting points on the board together, my points may be, you know what I'm saying? I might put up 10. You know what I'm talking about? Shit, I worked a hard week. You might put up 5. All right, baby, you put up 5. We good.
We put up something together.
We put up something.
So, back to the original question of where the insecurities come from out of men.
Yeah.
We're essentially saying that men cause those insecurities over time.
Oh, look what she doing.
I'm gonna say that, and I'm gonna say it confidently, most definitely. You know what I'm saying? Because of the simple fact that, regardless of the fact, most of the time the insecurities that come out of a relationship is based upon the fact that a man just don't.
But it is though, because you just said
you literally just
that.
No.
I'm gonna say I agree with that. I definitely agree with that. You know, we call because we are men. We are our own worst enemy.
We are strong.
But
there's
example for that. Like another, in one of my previous relationships, I worked really hard to get promoted. I worked maybe 42, 45 hours a week. I had this maybe not physically, laborious job, but mentally it required a lot of time outside work. And then he was like, baby, do it, get it, yeah, go get that promotion, get the promotion. And then I got the promotion, but then a few months later, it's like, well, I work hard too. Okay, no one's saying you didn't work hard, or I had to work 48 hours. Like, that's great, you worked 48 hours. I really think that, and I'm not saying this to all men, I'm just saying it is an insecurity that I feel like some men do create over time that, they tell you.
Yeah, and I mean, when I say over time is generational. Like,
right.
Over time,
so,
it's rooted.
I'll say this. I agree with. Dang, it's bad. I agree like on two levels, right? So yeah, over time, yes, but I think there is a strand of women that understand their power,
right?
And
that woman is very rare.
And that woman's very rare. But when you experience that woman, you will. So in other words,
you will appreciate it.
Well, you appreciate it, but there's a problem with it too, because they see by them being rare and bitch niggas being so prevalent.
It's a fucked up combination.
It's a pandemic. So when they actually find, like, in other words, because I don't consider myself so much an alpha male. I'm a male.
Me either. Yeah, I don't consider myself alpha.
I'm an actual nigga. Like, I'm good. I like to kind of like traverse the plains. You know what I'm saying? So my whole point is, like, I'm very comfortable with who I am. You know what I'm saying? So my point in that is, when women have dealt with niggas that have been either one or the other, they find out how to manipulate them because that's what they have to do to actually get a play. Right. To actually get in a certain position.
Right.
So when you have to...
I don't know how to control my power.
But it shouldn't be back. You shouldn't have to control your power if it's already manifested and is naturally, organically developed. You shouldn't have to control it.
Exactly. And not control it like me, but I'm saying but like Chase was saying, if you meet a guy and you kind of have to learn how to manipulate how it's like done in order to be able to coexist with this other
person. But everything is a growing process. But that's the great thing about growing and knowing the person that you're with. You know what I'm saying? Because everything, you're going to have to grow with everything. You grow with your job, you grow with your kids, you grow with everything.
What he's talking about is what I'm talking about. Growth. The problem is women are historical for blueprinting or copying and pasting because women are very...
they're particular.
No, not particular. Not exactly particular. They're big into patterns.
Right.
So, in other words, whatever the patterns that last nigga was doing, they're not even trying to figure out what the fuck you doing. They gonna put his patterns on you and see if you match up. But they
or if you surpass.
But right. But in other words, if you start doing something that seems like his shit, not taking it to
like his pattern. Okay.
Right. But not,
they gonna backpedal.
They gonna backpedal and go, what are you doing? What? That's not me. You put me in a category with that nigga. But hold on, you have to insert my personality and who I am. But they've been manipulated or hurt or whatever in the past, so they don't do that.
But when you deal with a broken woman, you know, when you deal with a broken woman, and I can speak from experience. You know what I'm saying?
We here though.
When you deal with a broken woman, you know what I'm saying? A broken woman.
When a heart is a little.
I feel like we're transitioning from.
It doesn't.
Hold on, but we need y'all to comment on this.
When you deal with a broken woman. And a broken woman comes from a lot of, heartache, pain, transition, having to manipulate herself to try to fit somebody else's mold.
Right.
And then when they get with a man, and they get with a real man who's all about transition and all about growth and all about elevation, most of the time they don't know how to actually continue and build with that man because they so broken. They don't want to open themselves up again.
And so now I think that's human nature, but go ahead.
But here's the problem with that. So, okay, women can go through their, breakups and heartaches and fuckboys and all that good stuff. They go through that. But one, it depends on the woman because at the end of the day, you still have to get right with yourself, right? So if you go through this breakup, you need to make sure that you're doing the things that you need to do to make sure that you're good, whether it's therapy, whether it's going to the gym, finding outlets, finding hobbies, finding yourself, finding Christ if that's something that you need to do. Like, you need to make sure that you're good with you.
That also...
Before you hop into another relationship, but you're not going to put that on someone. You're not going to put that on someone else.
Right,
if you
but it also feeds
right.
into a man's insecurity because the base point, a lot of women are not doing that. They're not taking their time to
actually. A lot of men don't either.
I'm about to say that. I'm about to say that. And vice versa, men are not doing the same thing, and that's the biggest problem.
So you know what we're back to? What we're back to on both sides. So what we're getting back to is we're human, and we all develop defense mechanisms based on previous events. Yep. So you have your fight or flight. Right. We're getting back to basics, right? So we have fight or flight or whatever, right? So that's a human trait. That is a human trait. So what I'm seeing in this is we're back to communication.
That's what it all goes back to, being able to talk out.
Hey, I'm sorry that this podcast getting deep as shit.
It all goes back into being able to talk through stuff and being able to understand the person, the heart and the soul of the person that you're dealing with.
Come on.
Because you can't tap into a person and not be able to tap into that whole entire person.
Hold on. You can't tap a person and not be able to tap into a person.
Like you can't tap a person. We ain't gonna do that though.
Yeah.
But you can't do that because at the end of the day, you're gonna create a merry-go-round effect.
Yes.
When you're never gonna get nowhere.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because both parties are doing the same thing. If you want a different result, do something different.
That's true.
All right. That was a good conversation. So one of the main reasons why we have you here, Des, is we want to talk about getting through some breakups. We want to talk about breakups.
Come on with
That's what we want to do today. So, really quickly, what are some of the reasons why you would break up with somebody?
Reason why I would break up with somebody? Well, first and foremost, I would definitely always break up with somebody if they're not going to inspire me to be a better person than I am.
Okay.
I got you.
And I mean, another reason is when you can give and give and give, and you can communicate, and the person is stuck within their own ways and within their own, foresight of what they think that things should be.
Yep.
If we can't come to an agreement and we can't come to a common goal to understand what we should be and not what I should be, then I have to go ahead and excuse myself in that situation because we grew in two different directions. Because in the way I was raised, when you become one with somebody, you become one with that person and everything that come with them. But you can't pick and choose what you want to become one with.
Okay. Right.
So when you get a person that you encounter and they continuously, always focus on what they want to do and what their dreams are, and they expect you to put yours on hold, that's a problem. And I have to excuse myself in that situation because I'm not going to let you manipulate myself and make me mentally manipulate myself to fit your mold, but you wouldn't do the same for me. Like I always tell people,
ain't nothing wrong with you.
Like I always tell people, if you was with somebody and you were totally unhappy, if you look at yourself in the mirror and you ask yourself, would I give that person the same chance over and over and over? Would I give that to myself if I was doing myself that way? And if your answer is no, then that's your actual cue to actually exit stage left, because it's not gonna ever evolve and ever grow into what you want it to be.
Damn, I want to shoot. Hey, this shit's so loud. I didn't want to shoot a second episode today. Go ahead.
So, Jess, reasons for a breakup.
I just think I agree with what he was saying. I feel like not only is it like, I think too, if you guys have like separate dreams that aren't in the same category, like I think, it could be negative where one person does have dreams, the other person doesn't, but it could also be that you guys are on two completely different paths, and being able to, just see that up front and, part ways. I think infidelity is definitely a reason I would break up with somebody. Other than two, just, if you're in a relationship and being in that relationship doesn't make you, like, you should already be a better person or a good person, and that person should just add to it. It should never be like that person adds to you being a better person. So I just think, those, if none of those things align, then those are reasons to break up.
True.
Cop. Never mind. Reasons for breaking up. I feel like what you guys are saying pretty much, especially with the age that we're at right now, like that we all have to have like the same common goal, right? If we're together, we have to have the same common goal. We have to eat from the same table. We got to know what each other's doing. We got to know where we're going. So that's definitely a huge thing. I don't know about reasons for breaking up. I've never really broken up with anybody. Oh wait, yes, being disrespectful. Like, right? Because it's like, it's a way to be like condescending, and men kind of tend to do that sometimes with women. I'm not saying all, I'm just saying some for the ones I've encountered.
Example of condescending.
Just kind of the way, honestly, it's more of like just kind of the demeanor and the way that they talk to you when it comes to. Are we talking about
like, joking condescending or like?
No.
Like
No. Like real, because I play too much anyway. Shut up. I play too much. But there are men that, I'm not saying that they're necessarily degrading the woman that they're with, because I feel like that's kind of an extreme. But there's ways that they kind of put you down to where you don't even really notice that you're being put down until like maybe after.
Until after the fact.
Right. And so like you don't even really catch on to those things. And that's something that I wasn't really aware of maybe in my 20s, but it's something that I could easily catch on to now.
Definitely.
And it's something that I wouldn't put up with.
I think that's more or less you have to understand, and people don't take it seriously, but you have to actually understand that love language is a real thing.
Yes.
If you don't have somebody that taps into your love language correctly, it can become a very toxic situation very quickly. Or sometimes it can be slowly, because you can also, get with somebody with a wolf in sheep's clothing. You know what I'm saying? They can look so good on the front end, but when you get in there and get deep, and you realize what that person is, it can turn into a very toxic situation. You could change yourself and your morality, and then when you look 5 years down the line, you're like, I don't even know who I am.
What's your love language, Des?
Man. Okay, so let's explain what the love languages are. I don't remember all of them.
Ooh, look at that.
I know one of them is acts of service.
Yeah.
Affection or physical touch.
Yeah.
Gifts.
I don't like that shit.
And then
don't buy me shit.
My love language is different.
Isn't it like words of affirmation or something?
Words of affirmation, right.
There's one more, it's 5.
Words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, physical Okay, because it kept going.
But I think I'm definitely the affection, physical touch. Yeah. Because I mean I'm more or less a lovey-dovey, hopeless romantic.
A lot of men are physical touch.
There's a cake.
I think I think I definitely blend though because I think I blend because I
But
definitely.
you lead with two.
But I lead.
We all blend with all of them.
I lead with two. You know what I'm saying? I'm definitely physical touch, but I'm definitely quality time.
If your love language, and I could be wrong, if your love language has anything to do with somebody buying you some shit,
it's horrible.
But no, it's not even that because okay, so what I like to receive for love language is different than what I give. So like my love language to people that I love is gifts.
Like some handmade shit.
No, well everything. Like I'm a gift giver. Like I think of gifts and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be so good. And it can be expensive, it can be cheap, it can be thoughtful.
She does that to her friends because she randomly buys me things and I'm like,
but that's also no.
Because
she's tapping into who she really is.
But that's not how I like to receive my love either. Like my love language is quality time, and then quality time and.
I wish understanding would love.
Yeah, something else.
Yeah.
Understanding would be such a great
words of affirmation.
Quality time and acts of service for me.
Hey, they need to add a sixth one, and they need to be understanding.
Maybe it should replace gifts. You should.
Well, words of affirmation would follow under understanding.
Yeah, kind of, sort of.
No, it doesn't. No,
not
it doesn't.
really.
You know why it doesn't? You wanna know why?
Why?
Because a motherfucker tell you, oh yeah, I understand,
but they really don't.
No, they'll say but. And then there's you know what I mean? It just go ahead and go left.
I don't think that but is really like a
shit.
But I think it's really like I understand
but you
this is how I feel about it.
But that also depends on the person too.
No. But
I understand somebody doesn't mean you have to agree with them.
Yeah, I mean you could definitely agree to disagree. But at the same time when you're talking about love, when you're talking about build and growth, sometimes agreeing to disagreeing is actually the beginning of the end.
Yeah.
Well, I mean you have to pick your battles too. Like you know.
You do. What was the question? I think I didn't answer.
It was why are the reasons why you would break up with? What are the reasons why you would break up with someone?
For me, in the past, it's been lack of understanding. That was a big one for one of my long-term relationships, and trying to change me. Trying to change me, and I ain't that damn bad. I'm not even coming from.
You're great, Chase.
No. I'm not coming from. I'm not. When I say I ain't that damn bad, I'm saying the things that the person was trying to change were things that, like, in other words, the way I speak. So I was in Chicago at this point.
Because you talk like you're from.
Man, you went through a lot of shit in Chicago.
Bro, I went to so much.
So when I was telling Stacey about Chase, that was like one of the selling points I was telling to Stacey. I was like, he has such a great voice for the podcast. Like he needs to be on it. Like I repeated those words verbatim. So your girlfriend, if she's out there, you shouldn't change how he talks.
But nah, man, like it's because bro got a great perspective on life.
I have a
and your deliverance, I think, in like how you say it, like.
So I'm a very layman person, but I think on a higher level, right? But I'm not even talking about that. The point I'm trying to make is the point I'm trying to make is at that time I was in Chicago. I'm up north, right? I'm not northern. I'm not northern at all. I'm very southern, and but I'm there for a reason. There's a reason why I'm there, right? So for that person to be like, oh yeah, we had a Christmas dinner. And she said, oh yeah, we're who the fuck is we? We're working on him right now. Who the fuck is we? You know what I'm saying? No, what you don't know is this your last go round.
Yeah, you already on your
foot.
One foot out the door.
One foot, bitch. You on your tippy toe. You on that big one. You know what I'm saying? So, trying to change people. The whole point is, if you're trying to change somebody to make them fit your mold,
it would never work.
No.
They're not for you because once again, I get back to the map. Your chemicals don't change. You was that way when you was born. There's a reason why you've been raised a certain way. You went through life a certain way. The person you're supposed to be with is already there.
A certain way, right.
So why are you trying to make the person into the person you want them to be when the other person you're really supposed to be with waiting on your motherfucking ass? So leave me alone.
Facts.
So you don't want someone that's going to try to change you?
Because apparently we're not really supposed to be together.
And somebody who doesn't have an understanding.
And let me say it differently. Let me say it. In other words, there are things that all men should work on.
And
so that's different. That's different. In other words, if if you curse too much or whatever, and you know it, and your significant other or something like that, like, okay, hey, you need to work on this, and you know it, but okay, really, you in my corner because you trying to make me a better person. That's different. But trying to change my dialect and the way that I express myself, you know what I'm saying? That's
a whole different ballgame.
That's a, you know what I'm saying? That's a
mess with your chakras.
Oh God.
So what's the worst breakup?
Worst breakup.
Worst.
Actually, probably a breakup in high school. You know who I'm talking about, Chase.
Who was it? Oh, go ahead.
But
I feel left out.
I think it was more or less. It was worse because of the simple fact that I was actually in a position where I was trying to better a person.
Yeah.
And you know what I'm saying, when I actually went to college in a certain place to benefit that person, when I actually wanted to go somewhere else, and I sacrificed and did that, and then it was like I get there and then you pull that, and then it was who I was broke up with for, and how I was broke up with. It was trash.
So when you say you were trying to better a person, essentially, do you feel like you were maybe trying to change this person?
Well, no, I wasn't trying to change her. I was actually trying to give her stability.
Well, you were trying to be in a relationship with her potential, and you can't be in a relationship with
True.
your potential.
But that's definitely true. Now when I'm
but
up
we
in
all
age,
do it.
We all do it.
Now that I'm up in age,
That's
but
my
it was like at that
favorite
point, I was definitely in a
My
relationship.
nigga Dan say he up in age. I'm dead.
I'm up in age.
We're all up in age now.
And I have a
older.
similar story. I mean, I'm not going to go into details, but
No, you are.
no,
Please.
I was dating
Come
this
on,
guy,
we need
and no, need help. So, yeah, he was. I felt like he was just making all these wrong decisions, and that I could be the savior. I could be the person to. I saw all this potential, and I was like, I could fix this. I could make. If he has me, it'll be better. And we broke up, obviously, because I wanted to be in a relationship with his potential, and it was a terrible breakup because I saw all these great things that could happen in it.
You see the greatness of the person when they see it in themselves, and then it sucks for you to be able to just see that go down.
And you have to let it go.
And you gotta let it go.
It's draining for you to even try to hold on to them because they have so many great qualities that they don't even recognize.
Go ahead and speak them facts, Miss
I feel it. My worst breakup is all my breakups.
I know.
All
of them? Pick one?
All of them hoes. All of them.
Like you ain't had one that was just like.
I only had one that was cool, but like that means we were only together for like maybe a couple weeks. That didn't even count. All the rest of them.
Y'all don't want to see what Chase is bringing back to his little.
Yeah, I'm nervous because but all my breakups typically end terribly. But I say that being like I was in my 20s. Now I'm a little older.
Up in age.
I'm up in age now, and if we're not compatible, then we're just not compatible. I'm not gonna, wild out.
And that's definitely something that has become easier with age. I definitely
it
agree.
does.
You get to
it's like I don't want to waste your time. Don't waste mine.
Oh,
you gotta pull the ripcord a little faster as you get older. And
Because you see the qualities faster.
But
you see what you want and what you don't.
But it's living and learning. Like it's that old adage, living and learning. So you already know when you actually get older and you go through experience and you go through life and life actually hits you in many ways, forms, and fashions. You're able to pick up on different stuff.
You know what's so crazy? We damn near turned to our parents, and I say that shit with so much respect.
Straight up.
I was on
salute Julia and Alfred.
You know what I'm saying? Carl, Tanya. Man, I was on Instagram, not Instagram, I was on Facebook earlier, and I saw one of my posts from 09 or some shit. And,
man, Facebook memories be setting you up.
They be killing you. I was like, bro, y'all gotta stop. Y'all gotta stop. But I had one on there where it's like I had put all like the old sayings that my people used to tell me, like don't act like your shit don't stink.
What?
You know what I'm saying? Oh, bro, I'm start dropping most of them. Oh, here you go, right here. The dog that carry a bone, bring a bone.
What? Say, man.
The dog that carry a bone,
that's
bring
real.
a bone.
That's real though.
You feel me? That means I got one for you, but guess what? I got one
for me too.
Follow your first mind. Follow your first mind. You can't have your cake and eat it too.
You can't.
How you gonna do both? See,
look.
Hey,
I'm just
Stacey saying this shit with no
As
belt on.
insignificant as chicks on a bullfrog.
Damn.
Is that one?
What?
I don't know. That's Texas. My boss be saying stuff like that all the time because he's from Alvin.
Hey,
It's like, oh, he's crazy as a bull in a china pan. I'm like, what?
What?
Or a china
Bull
cabinet.
in a china pan.
A bull in a china cabinet.
This is real. Everything that glitter ain't gold.
That was definitely.
God damn it. Hold on. This is my last one. Then I'm going to have to drop the mic on this one. You can't make sugar out of shit.
You can't.
Bruh.
Are you sure
You
though?
can't do it, bruh.
Nah, that's real though.
You
That's
can't
real.
do it. You can make, what's crazy, you can make a crystal out of coal, but you can't make sugar out of shit.
This is true. This is definitely
Okay, but you haven't answered our question. What's your worst breakup?
Answer the question, Chase.
I think the worst breakup for me had to be the high school one.
Oh, high school. We all got high school.
No. I'm not gonna do it.
Well, I say that one.
So I think high school does kind of shape. People be like, "Oh, it's high school. It don't count," but it really does shape the next. You know, everything shapes the next, right? So for me, you know, back then, when I broke up, I told you about the girl broke up that got pregnant. That wasn't for me, right? And I hadn't did anything with it, right? So that kind of shaped the difference in me as far as like, okay, now you become harder from that, right? And then when I went to college, the worst one was in college. So when I went to college, I had to break up where the it was a lack of understanding. I had been studying for like 2 weeks straight, 3 weeks straight, hadn't been anywhere. At the time I didn't really go out anyway. And the fact that she couldn't understand what was going on and the way that she acted at that, I think that one kind of shaped me more for the guy that I am now. Because now I kind of like, I notice it. I notice when a woman's not going to be understanding in the long run. Because you can see the signs. It's not the same thing. But you can see where, you know when a woman that's understanding, like, all right, yeah, I got you. Like, when you better say something that's controversial, like, you know that she really just shouldn't just be like, hey, I'm supposed to be with you tonight, but I'm going to chill with my boy because I just need to, like, do, like, a guy thing tonight. And she be like, I got you. That mean, like, she understands. You see what I'm saying? Instead of it just being, no, motherfucker, no, so is fuck. You know what I'm saying? Instead of some shit like that.
Boy, you just hit the nail on the head.
Bruh, when they do that, you be like, oh, wife.
I'm going to tell y'all. Hey, look, I had that.
You see what I'm saying?
And it's like now,
Bruh.
when I'm in the position and the situation that I'm in now, you know what I'm saying? When you have a woman that understands.
Oh, you better talk to her.
You have to, you gotta have that balance of, you know, home versus
that boy
leisure.
trying to make sure when he get home tonight.
You know what I'm talking about? Like I salute mine. So, Shayla, hey baby. Hey,
ooh, and she on the phone.
I understand that. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of women don't understand how important that is.
Right.
In the balance of a relationship. You know what I'm saying? Like when you around somebody 25, you can't be around somebody for too long.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like
I need to be away
it
from
definitely
you.
can happen. And that's why I push her to be like, man, look, go enjoy your girls. You know what I'm saying? Go do the girl, now get your nails done, go to the concert, whatever you want to do, go do that. Because first of all, you work hard just like I do.
Right.
So I understand if I feel like this, you're gonna feel like
this. See, you know what it is? See, when y'all both, it goes back to these points. When y'all both work hard, y'all understand more.
Exactly.
Because what if I'm working hard and I come home, I'm seeing your ass. You know what I'm saying? Then I go to sleep or wake up, I see your ass. Sometimes I need to see somebody else. I ain't gonna do shit because I'm too tired any goddamn way.
And that comes with age and time as well. Because I can't say that I've ever been really clingy or anything like that. But definitely now I'm like, I don't need to be around you all the time. Like I have my own life. But that came, with time. You kind of have in your mind like this, what a relationship is supposed to be when you're in your, in high school or in your 20s, early 20s. You think, okay, we're supposed to be together. We're supposed to love to be together. We're supposed to always do these things together. And that's really not necessarily the case. The more amount of time you spend together doesn't mean that you're going to have a more successful relationship.
But you know what we're touching on? See, I love to talk about what we touching on.
Come on
with
it, bro.
You know what we
Come on with it, bro.
See, the difference between what we're trying to do and what's really going on is this. There's not that many examples of great, husband-wife relationships in the black community, in, most communities, right? And so what it is we try to cling to something. We try to cling to it because we don't really, the only way I can keep it is if I keep it close. You see what I'm saying? But most of the time, the best relationships are the people whom, you know what I'm saying, they're like, oh yeah, he about to go. You know what I'm saying? Like when the wife be like, yeah, you go through all that. Yeah. Boy, go ahead. That's the best one.
Yeah, but I feel like also as children, even if you came from a family where, the parents were together, what you remember most is the time that they spent together. Like you don't necessarily remember, oh, mom let Pop go out with the boys.
Don't, but
like,
that nigga wasn't there all the time.
Right.
No, but that's kind of what how our memory is kind of programmed. Like we remember those memories where it was like mom, dad, us. Like I can't say like my mom's been with my stepfather since I was maybe 9 years old. I don't ever really remember times where it was like, oh yeah, he went to go hang out with his buddies. Like I feel like I've always kind of just seen them together. Those are the memories that I have that stand out to me the most. So back, when I was younger, that's what I kind of thought that a relationship was, or that's kind of how I perceived it based off of what I remember as kids.
So
I you know what, I also always, I give this metaphor, and I was like, when every week we do this at all of our homes, when, say on a certain day of the week, your trash pass, right?
Yeah. Come on.
When you got stuff that you don't really need to use, you don't really, have any use for, it all goes in this trash and you set it out to the street.
Right.
Now, once you set it out to the street, it's easily accessible to, people who try to scrap for cans, people who just look for, gold and, in the trash or whatnot. It's easily accessible for anybody. Once you put it out to the street, they're saying, I don't need it no more. Hey, have it.
Right.
But when you got something that means something to you,
come on,
and you got something that you really, admire and adore, and it holds value.
When that boy get home tonight,
you know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
You put that up. You know what I'm saying? Like you store it away. You put it in a well protected place. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
And I equivalate that to anything in life. If you want people to put something out there,
my nigga said equivalate.
You know what I'm saying? Like you got to be able to understand that no matter what go down, once you put it out to the street,
right,
that gives people,
they got
all the ability in the world and full range to say, hey, I can go ahead and I can access that because hey, you put it out there.
Yeah,
that's why. So many people understand, and I that's why it blow my mind when people post stuff on social media and then they get mad when people say something about it or they get their opinion. Hey, you put it out there for them to access.
Right, and you mad.
You know what I'm saying? And you mad. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't want somebody to access it or you don't want somebody to, be able to throw their opinion on it or be able to do whatever they want to do to it, hey, don't put your trash to the street.
Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? Hey, keep it in a safe place. Keep it somewhere that you can only access it.
And that was a jewel that was just dropped. I don't know if you guys knew.
But that's how I feel.
So you're saying just hold on tight to that man and never let him go?
No.
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
That's definitely.
I can lay roses at your feet. So only morning till what is on.